Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a tool that's probably in every single one of your toolboxes, or at least in a kitchen drawer somewhere, the humble measuring tape. We all know how to use it, right? You pull it out, you measure something, you let it snap back. Simple. But have you ever noticed all those little marks and symbols? I'm not just talking about the inches and centimeters. I'm talking about the tiny, mysterious symbols that most of us just ignore. Well, one of those symbols holds a fascinating secret, a piece of construction history that can actually make your DIY projects a lot easier, and that's the little black diamond. So grab your measuring tape. Go ahead, I'll wait. Pause the video if you have to. Got it. Okay, unroll it and take a close look at the markings. You'll see the standard inch marks, little lines for sixteenths, eighths, quarters, and halves. You'll probably see red numbers every 16 inches, which are super important for framing walls. But look closely around the 19-inch mark. Do you see it? A small black diamond or maybe a black triangle. Keep pulling the tape out, and you'll see another one around 38 inches, then 57, and so on. What on earth are those for? Are they a mistake? A secret code for carpenters? Well, the answer is a bit of both, and it's actually pretty genius. To understand the black diamond, we need to talk about building materials. Specifically, we need to talk about the big sheets of stuff we use to cover walls and floors, like drywall, plywood, or oriented strand board, also known as OSB. In the United States and Canada, these materials almost always come in standard-sized sheets. The most common size by far is 4 feet by 8 feet. That's 48 inches by 96 inches. Keep that 96-inch number in your head. It's the key to this whole puzzle. Now, think about building a house. You have a wooden frame, which is like the skeleton. This frame is made of vertical pieces of wood called studs. To finish the walls or the floor, you need to attach those big 4x8 sheets of plywood or drywall onto the studs. The goal is to do this efficiently, with as little waste and as little cutting as possible. You want the edges of your sheets to land right in the middle of a stud or a floor joist, so you have something solid to nail or screw into. This is where spacing becomes critical. If your studs are too far apart, the drywall will be weak and saggy. If they're too close together, you're just wasting wood and money. So what's the best way to space out your studs or joists to perfectly fit an 8-foot or 96-inch sheet of material? The most common method, and the one you've probably heard of, is 16 inches on center. This is why you see those red numbers on your tape measure at 16, 32, 48, 64, 80, and 96 inches. If you place the center of each stud at these marks, you get 6 studs evenly spaced over an 8-foot span. When you put up your 4x-8 sheet, the ends will land perfectly on a stud. It's a strong, efficient, and standard way to build. It's the bread and butter of residential construction, but it's not the only way. Sometimes you might need a bit more strength, or you might be using a different type of construction system. For example, some floor systems are designed with joists spaced farther apart to save on material costs, while still providing enough support. This is where another common spacing comes in, 24 inches on center. If you space your studs or joists every 24 inches, you can fit exactly 4 of them under a 96-inch sheet. The math is simple. 96 divided by 24 is 4. This method uses fewer pieces of wood, which saves money and labor. It's often used for floors and roofs where the load requirements allow for wider spacing. So we have 16-inch spacing and 24-inch spacing. Both divide perfectly into 96 inches. Where does the black diamond fit in? Well, the black diamonds are for a third, less common, but equally important spacing system. The first black diamond is at 19 3/16 inches. Let's just call it 19.2 inches for simplicity. The next one is at 38.4 inches, then 57.6, 76.8, and finally, the 5th diamond lands right at 96 inches. Look at that, 5 diamonds across an 8-foot span. So, what's the logic here? If you space your framing members every 19.2 inches, you can fit 5 of them perfectly under a standard 8-foot sheet. It's simple division. 96 inches divided by 5 equals 19.2 inches. This gives you an intermediate option. It's stronger than 24-inch spacing because the joists are closer together, but it uses less lumber than 16-inch spacing. It's a sweet spot, a compromise between material cost and structural strength. This spacing is particularly common for floor joists in engineered flooring systems, like those using I-joists or floor trusses. These modern materials are designed to be incredibly strong, allowing for wider spans, and the 19.2-inch spacing optimizes their performance. So why are they called black diamond marks? Well, they're black and they're shaped like diamonds. It's not very creative, I know. But in the construction world, they have a nickname. They're often called the black truss markings. This points directly to their primary use, which is laying out trusses, especially floor trusses. When a builder is laying out a subfloor, they can just hook their tape on one end of the foundation and pull it out. Instead of calculating and marking every 19.2 inches, they just make a mark at every black diamond. It makes the layout process incredibly fast and foolproof. It takes the complicated math out of the equation and replaces it with a simple visual cue. So let's recap the 3 main layout systems you can find on a modern measuring tape. First, you have the standard 16-inch on-center marks, usually in red. This gives you 6 studs or joists per 8-foot sheet. It's the most common for wall framing. Second, you have the 24-inch on-center marks. This is just every other foot mark, giving you for studs or joists per sheet. It's great for saving lumber where codes allow. And third, you have our hero of the day, the 19.2-inch black diamond marks. These give you 5 joists per sheet and are a perfect solution for many modern floor systems. Now, you might be thinking, that's cool, but I'm just hanging a picture. Why do I need to know this? Well, understanding these marks can actually be super helpful even for small home projects. If you are trying to find a stud in your wall to hang something heavy like a TV or a big shelf, you can use this knowledge. First, find one stud using a stud finder or the good old knock-on-the-wall trick. Once you've found the center of one stud, you don't have to keep searching randomly. You can just measure 16 inches over, and there's a very high chance you'll find the center of the next stud. Your wall was almost certainly built using 16-inch spacing. It's not a guarantee because there are always exceptions around windows and doors, but it has a fantastic starting point that will save you a ton of time and extra holes in your drywall. And if you're ever tackling a bigger project, like building a shed or a deck, knowing about the black diamonds could be a game changer. If you're using engineered joists or your plans call for it, you can use the black diamond marks to lay out your floor joists quickly and accurately, just like the pros. You won't have to struggle with decimal points or weird fractions. Just pull the tape, find the diamond, and make your mark. It's amazing to think about how much thought goes into a simple tool like a measuring tape. It's not just a ruler, it's a calculator, it's a guide. It's a physical embodiment of decades of construction knowledge and best practices, all condensed into a little metal strip that fits in your pocket. The red numbers for 16-inch spacing, the foot markers, and of course, the black diamonds for 19.2-inch spacing, they are all there to make the job of building things faster, stronger, and more efficient. So the next time you pull out your measuring tape, take a moment to appreciate those little black diamonds. They're not just random decorations, they're a clever, elegant solution to a real-world construction problem. They represent a hidden language that, once you understand it, connects you to the logic and ingenuity of the entire building trade. You're now in on the secret. You're part of the club. I hope you found this little deep dive interesting. It's one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll be spotting those little diamonds everywhere now. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want more secrets from the world of tools and making things, Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.